Good morning everyone and welcome to another Miss Cooper Show Ponies vlog. Today we are off to some dressage. So if you've been following me, you'll know that I am currently 27 weeks pregnant and I am continuing to ride my horse Donny and just compete in unaffiliated dressage. We're going to do showing in the summer. Showing is obviously our thing, but to help progress the showing, we are working on our dressage skills. So we're off to Limekiln Farm today, which is actually where we went last time. So when Donny competed there last time, he came second and he actually won a goodie bag and a voucher for a discount off his next entry. So I think today it's only cost me about £3.50. Obviously I've just got to put my fuel on the top. So I thought it's silly not to do it because, you know, super cheap day out. So we're off to go and do the Prelim 3 test, which is not our strongest prelim, but we have been working super hard and our goal is to reach over 68, please, because we have had 68% like 4 or 5 times in a row now. It's mad. Well, I think we got 67.95 once, but yeah, I really would love to hit 70%. I've been working hard, but we will see. So join me for a day in the miserable Norfolk countryside to go and do some dressage. So the horses have just come in and they're having their breakfast. Yesterday I gave the horse box a little bit of a clean because it was a bit mouldy, a bit minging. I do need to like do a proper deep clean, but it was a bit hit and miss whether we were actually going to make today or not, because the horse box actually had a flat tyre and it needed 2 new front tyres, and it had a leak in the fan. There you go, the ceiling fan. So luckily my husband is an engineer and he's got it all sorted so I can go to the show, because there isn't many shows on this month, so I wanted to try and make this one. So we've got our saddle, our show saddle, our boots, and then in here I've put my jacket. I've got a numner. I haven't actually cleaned the numner from last time, but I thought it would be okay. It's cleanish. And I just got to put his bridle in, and then once he's finished his breakfast, I will start plaiting him, I suppose. And we've got Mum coming today and Teresa, who's like my friend slash showing guru. She usually helps me warm up, helps me get him ready, and because I am a bit waddly and a bit slow, it is nice to have the extra help. So yeah, and my time's at 12:20, which is a really nice time. They're running 2 rings today, but the warm-up's indoor. I don't really like their indoor warm-up very much, but better time, because last time we got back and it was like pitch black. So hopefully we will come back in the daylight. So I've just got Donny out. He's tucking into some hay. I've just put some Brill cream on his mane and just started to plait with bands. It's definitely a lot easier to plait now it's been thinned. We're going to ignore the hairy hair bubble on the grooming tool. So yeah, I'm just going to get him plaited and hopefully they look less golf ballish than last time. Make him look nice and smart. Yes. So the weather today is very cold again, but it's not raining. There's no ice, so got to just go with what we've got. And where we're going today is always freezing cold. But I've brought lots of rugs and blankets and hopefully we can keep warm today. I am really enjoying doing the winter dressage because it gives me something to like work on, look forward to, because I feel like in the like winter months you just sort of don't do a lot and it's boring and you become unmotivated and just nah. So I'm trying to book in 2 things every winter month up to the spring, so we have something to work on those weeks in between, because it is so easy just to not ride and let things slip. But yeah, I want him to be in as best shape as he can, especially as when I have the baby. I don't know how much break I'm gonna have, because obviously it depends on the birth. So I want him to be like up and running for as long as possible, and hopefully it'll be a nice birth and I can literally get back on. But yeah, there's lots lots to think about, but I think as long as I remain determined and keep going out and doing things, we should be fine. But I do have days where I just generally struggle, especially with walking, because baby's laying in my hips. But so far, midwife has said I'm still fine to ride, and I'm still really enjoying riding him. So we just keep pootling along. So Mum is just washing Donny's socks. He's plaited. We need to leave in the next 15 minutes. I'm just going to put my white joggers on, and I've decided to bring my Spurs today. I am going to try and ride in my Spurs. I'm not really a fan of Spurs and gadgets, but I am obviously getting weaker as a rider. My core strength is not as good. And I think I could use that aid just to help me today. I did quite a lot of kicking last time, and then obviously I'm very out of breath because I'm very pregnant. So yeah, we'll see. We're gonna give it a go and see if we get any better results and just see how he feels. So I've just stuck my white jodhpurs on underneath my fake Equidry. This is actually from Primark. I think it was £15, but it's quite handy because obviously I'm quite big. I can just whip it on and off even if I'm riding. So I've just got my black base layer to wear. I'll just stick a stock on, my black jacket, look half smartish hopefully. So just got to get the horse on board. I think we're good to go. So I'll see you when we get to Limekiln Farm Equestrian Centre. So we've just arrived and it's freezing here. So cold. I don't know if I can stop shivering. It's really busy. The warm-ups look really busy, the car park's really busy. We've had to sort of park semi on mud, which isn't ideal, but they just don't have that much like winter car parking. So yeah, I've just seen what's turned up. There's lots of like dressage horses. They did have BD yesterday, so yeah, I don't know, but hopefully we can do another consistent test. So I gave myself about 20 minutes to warm in, and Teresa come over wearing Donny's rug because it was so cold, just to give me a little bit of a pep talk, because when I'm on my own I generally do the same thing and I become very pootly, and she just come over and said, look, you feel like you're going forwards but you're not, you're going too slow, we need more quality, more oomph in the paces. So she just came, we did some transitions, we tried to get him off the forehand by doing lots of transitions and pushing him forward, and I just rode a circle around her, and what I'm doing here is just trying to get him lifting, and he definitely looks better in the contact. And she was just trying to get me a bit more forwards. But to me, when I'm riding him, I'm like, oh, I am going forwards. And then when I look it back on the video, I'm like, I'm not. And also, she's just trying to keep my hands still, because at the minute I've got this naughty habit of jiggling my hands. And I know why I do it. It's because he leans on the bridle, goes on the forehand and becomes heavy into the contact. So I try and release the contact every now and again so he has nothing to hold on to. But I'm not really helping him out, I'm just jiggling about. But there was loads of horses in here, and there was like a window over there where you could literally see all the competitors riding in the arena. This tiny little pony, absolutely adorable. So yeah, she was just helping me out and getting me going in the canter as well, making sure he's soft. And it's nice just to have someone on the ground, like, to give you a few pointers, because I do think I'd probably just do the same thing at every single show in the warm-up. So she was just trying to make sure that we got the best results out of him, really, before we went into the test. And I was just so happy with how well he came into this arena, and he just got on with it. I just absolutely adore him so much. So yeah, we didn't do loads, and that was pretty much it for the warm-up. We only did, I'd actually say, probably 10 minutes of actual riding, because I have to keep having sort of breathing breaks, because I do get quite out of breath at the minute because my lungs are being squished at the top of my body. But yeah, I was really happy with him. And yeah, we just did some work on the transitions as well, because obviously the canter and the transitions is our weakness. So we always do a little bit more work on the transitions before we go in. So yeah, but overall I was really happy with how he felt, and I just love his attitude to life. He just gets on with it, and he's always the same, which is a dream come true, really.
Team talk before you go in.
Ride more forwards.
Make sure you know the test.
I can't. There you go.
Okay, Donny, you got any words to say?
The knee rolls come out.
Some pyjamas.
Oh my god. Is it back in?
You alright?
Knee rolls come out. Yeah, all looks very elegant up here.
That's doing well.
You are doing well, Charlotte. Here today.
Very windy.
Very cold. Bitterly cold.
So I only got to go around the arena once, and she rang the bell. There was also a man next to me who was calling a test in the next arena. It was very, very windy and blowy. I came up the centre line and I drifted right. You can clearly see that, and I got a 6.5, which is absolutely fine. I felt like I just panicked a bit. Then HE working trot between E and K, half circle left, 15 metres diameter, returning to the track at H. This scored a 7, but I thought this was really lovely. I feel like our circle, like our little half circle thing was lovely. He was in a rhythm. We rode exactly to the letter. So I think she could have squeezed in an extra half a mark there. But then we rode our circle at C, 20 metres diameter, and given retaking the reins when crossing the line. We got a 6.5, and she said we lost energy in the give and retake. But I don't feel like we did. I feel like it was worthy of more than a 6.5, but you know, I don't know what she scored the other competitors. Then we're doing the little half circle thing again. So between B and F, half circle right, 15 metres diameter, and return to the track at M. Scored a 6.5. Nose needs to be more forward. Watching. No, I don't really know what she means by that comment, but maybe she felt it was a little bit behind the vertical. Then we rode our circle left, 20 metres diameter, with a give and retake, and she said there was a clarity in the release, and we scored a 6.5. And I don't see what was wrong with that. Like, I honestly think that's a 7 at least, or a 7.5. So then we did HXF change the rein and working trot, and we scored a 7. She said steps could have more jump. I think what she wants to say is she would like to see the energy more up, but he's a draught. He's not gonna move like light on his feet. Then we scored a 6.5. He could be cleaner to walk, which, yeah, fair enough. He did jog a couple of steps, like it wasn't that clear, but I was trying to keep him forward. Then we rode a half circle E to B, which is usually, this is our strength, with a stretch. And she scored us a 7, and she said pleasing stretch. In my opinion, the walk could have more oomph. We could show a little bit more stretch, but I feel like a 7, and a 7's okay, but I feel like a 7.5 wouldn't go amiss. Maybe. Then B medium walk between B and between F and A, transition to working trot 7, and she said very soft. So at least that was positive. And then A, we rode a circle right 20 metres, and in the second half of the circle, transition to working canter right. This scored a 7. Obedient. Well, considering our canter transitions are our weakness, that was pretty good. And then E, we rode a circle right 20 metres diameter and working canter. And she said he needs to be more uphill, which I totally agree with, but only scored a 6. And I thought, he didn't do anything. Yeah, he did almost break. It was a little bit hurried, but I don't know about a 6. Then MXK, change the rein in working trot. Change the rein in canter with a transition to working trot at X. Scored a 6.5 against the hand. Yeah, totally. You know, that's something we really struggle with. And then circle left 20 metres in the second half of the circle. Pick up the working canter left. And this scored a 7. Obedient. So our canter transitions scored really well. But this transition was really good. And I didn't see why that couldn't have got a 7.5. But maybe she just was tight for everyone. B, circle left 20 metres diameter. And then BMCH working canter scored a 6.5 on the shoulder. Maybe he was a little bit on his left shoulder too much, but I didn't see loads wrong with it. And then changed the rein with a transition to working trot over X, scored a 6.5, lost balance. Fair enough, because, yeah, this is something we really struggle with, but I did think it was way better than what we've ridden before. FAK working trot, between K and E, half circle right, allowing the horse to stretch. And she scored a 6, more support over back. Yeah, I should have let the reins go and let him stretch more, but he felt like he was tanking with me a little bit after the canter. So that's fine. A down the centre line and G Holt scored a 7, but she didn't say anything. But I did think this was really good. He was straight and he did a really, really lovely Holt, which is really good for us. So again, I think maybe we could have scored more than a 7 because, I mean, that was a bloody good Holt. We scored a 7 for paces, a 6.5 for impulsion, a 6.5 for cooperation, and a 7 for my seat and position. And she just said he had lovely paces, but he needed to be more uphill. But I felt like giving him a 6.5 for cooperation was really mean when she had commented how obedient he was. So, yeah, I just felt like she didn't like us very much, maybe. But overall, Donny was super and I was really happy with the test. So I've just finished my test. It's raining, it's miserable, look at all the mud. It's minging, it is minging. But we managed to get our test done without it being too horrible. The actual boards were moving and they had to have sandbags all the way around the edge of the, on the boards, which Finley would have lost his plot at sandbags being on the boards. There were bits of the test that were definitely better. The trot was more forward. I was really happy with how I rode. I was definitely super accurate. The downwards transitions were better out of canter, but not perfect. And he got a bit tanky after the last canter and I weren't able to stretch him like how I normally like to stretch him. So that definitely let us down. And I was a bit wobbly coming down the first centre line. She only let me come, do one lap and that's it. Then she rang the bell, so I was like, but he was a superstar, absolute superstar. I couldn't ask for a better, more sensible young horse to ride. And even like getting off, I have to get off a certain way and people have to help me hold him. And he's so good. He is so good. And even if we don't do very well today, honestly, I don't think I would ride another horse whilst being this pregnant. Like, I just trust him so much. He went in the indoor school to start off with and he'd never been in there. He's just a superstar. I would like to think we're going to score over 65%. He did have a small break of the canter, but I almost saved it. Yeah, it seems like each week there's something that doesn't go perfectly to plan. And also in the arena next to me was a man calling, and that was really distracting because I was coming down the centre line and he was going whoa and all this, going down to walk, and I was like, don't listen. But now there's about 5 or 6 more riders to go. Yeah, the judge looked really old and grumpy, not gonna She looked really miserable. So I don't know whether she just didn't like us or there's just some judges. So yeah, we're just going to all have a pack up now. I've made sandwiches. We're going to sit in the back, get all snuggly. Donny's having his lunch. Is ain't it? You are a superstar. Yes, you are. Yeah, he's had a sugar lump and what? Mum's just feeding endless carrots to him. But God, he deserves it. Finley would be horrific. So, is that nice?
We're jumping in here when she
Yeah,
moves
we're going to
out.
make a little tea area. So, we have just got back and I've just chucked Donny out in the field. I was really happy with today's test. Even though it wasn't perfect, I weren't as straight as I could have been on entrance. There's little things like that. I actually thought the quality of the steps were better. He was more forward, he was more responsive. But the results are a bit disappointing, not going to lie. We scored 66.87, so lower than what we normally score. We didn't score above a 7, which is a bit like, I definitely think he deserved above a 7. And we come 6th. So we still got a place, but there was, what, 12 in it. And looking at what was the competition, I felt like Donny was, I was expecting to be top 3, not going to lie. But I think the highest score wasn't over 70. I don't think there was a lot in between the top 6. But even though we had a different judge as well, by the way, who is renowned for being a bit of a grumpolini, we'll say that. I feel like dressage is turning a bit into showing, where judges are like giving higher marks to the horses they like, or if they're an instructor, they give higher marks to their pupils, like just half a marks here and there. And I definitely feel like dressage is becoming a bit more like, it's not so black and white anymore. Like, does that make sense? There are definitely judges out there that don't mark cobs that well because they just don't like cobs very much, for example. But I'm not moaning as such, because I definitely agree with her comments, but I thought we did really well. So I'm gonna just smile and wave with the 6th. I mean, it wasn't a totally bad score. I just thought, even though, I mean, it wasn't perfect, I feel like the quality was much better. Like, when I watched the video, I actually thought, he looks smart. Yeah, I'm happy. So, I'm just so happy, to be honest, with Donny, even though today we didn't get the results. He's so good. I mean, it's cold, it's windy. He stood about for hours waiting for the result. He's just such a good boy, and I trust him so much. I feel like we've really bonded over winter, which is way more important than the rosettes and the results. Because we've had this one-to-one, and in the position I'm in, I want a horse that's safe and is going to look after me, and I have that with Donny, and that means more than anything in the world, just riding a horse that's safe and I know he's going to look after me. So yeah, I'm just going to keep training, keep doing what I'm doing, and hope that the next one will be at Forest Edge in March. I'm hoping that we can absolutely smash it and find also a judge that's a bit more generous, or just sees what I see. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, we've got 66 point something or whatever, and it's not totally bad. We didn't go wrong. We remembered the test, and he was super. So it's not like I got 40% or something. I'm not upset. I just thought like he had improved a lot, and I wanted to see like a big improvement in the score. But that is what, you know, all judges judge differently. I'm proper rambling, so I'm gonna stop. I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. It's been freezing. I'm really sick of winter now. It'd be nice to go to a show when it's like sunny, but there you go. We're just pootling along really and waiting for the spring shows. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.